Okay.
And welcome to the jam.
Ow! All right.
Welcome to the Slam Jam.
Let me ensure that the thingy is live on the YouTubes.
We get technical here on
Alright.
Anime 3000.
Oh, that YouTube delay, though.
That YouTube.
Alright. That's Josh Dunham. I don't believe you're related to Jameer.
Yeah, his last name's Durham, but yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I had to make a change on this end.
Everybody.
Unless you are related to Jameer, which is awesome.
Yeah, that would be cool. That would be cool.
All
Look
right.
at all the adorable people in the chat who are super, and by which I mean just one person. They're really impatient for us to get started.
All right. Pedro, do your
Yeah.
thing. Do your starting thing.
Buenos nachos, amigos.
No. The do that.
Oh.
Do that.
Hana do set.
What was that, Sanskrit?
Bitches love Sanskrit.
True facts. A3K podcast, episode 130. In 5, 4, 3, a chee-hee-hee-hee. Nope, I'm not ready. I don't like how that was going.
Alright.
Yeah, I didn't like any of that. Let me.
Are we
Hi,
actually
everybody.
live?
We are.
Mr.
We
Owl,
are.
how many podcasts does it take for me to get good? A 1, a 2, a never. Never.
Jack, when I get good, I'll let you know. All right.
See, this is the
Now-
funny thing. If you want to show people how good your podcast is, you don't live stream it. That's the first thing.
Oh, God. Yeah, Sean.
Just throwing that out there. If you want to sound smart, that's what editing is.
Yeah, Sean.
AW, you first go chat.
Okay.
First.
Stop. All right. Now we're ready. Now I like it. A3K podcast, episode 130. In 5, 4, a 3, a 2. Ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between, welcome to the A3K podcast, powered by the fine folks at anime3000.com, where the future of anime and manga shall be broadcasted, podcasted, live streamed, live tweeted, and live blogged, all the way through your intertubes. I'm David Majors, my co-host, Jack D. Tyler D. What is up, Jake Wellen?
Trick or treat, everybody. Trick or treat. Happy Halloween. It was an excellent day today. How are you doing, David?
I am tip-toppity. Trick or treat, smell my feet. I'm ready to talk about the animus and the manga, and we're not going to do it alone this time. We're never alone, Jack. We're never
You
ever
are,
alone.
parentheses, not, end parentheses, alone. Just in case you
And
think
this-
you were alone, but you're not, but we wanted to be secretive about it and put it in parentheses, because that's weird. Why do they do that?
Because I'm really pretentious like that. And one guy that knows how to put up with my pretentiousness is the host of Hallyu and man behind all the things you see at the Rebelli Podcast Network at rebelli.tv, the Miami podcast machine himself, PD Rave. What is up, Pedro? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, baby. I'm chilling here. I'm glad to be back on the Anime 3000s.
No Kikarumi! Why
No,
no?
I just got in from work. I didn't have time to put it on.
You wear the Kikarumi to work, PD. I'm disappointed. That is proper work attire, and they know it.
I see you're rocking the Nerdtacular gear, good sir.
Yes, I am. Just got back from there, but we'll talk about it on the dotting. But yeah, it was a good time.
Everybody out there, for somebody that's curious as to someone who goes to more conventions than I do, we're going to talk about PD Rave a little bit later. But before that, coming to us from Senpai Coast to Coast, Mr. Josh Dunham. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Pleasure to be here. I'm just going to sit in the corner with my Gendo fingers and observe.
That's all he came for. He's not going to talk at all.
That's all I do.
I'm going to try my best to be the best and best son that I can possibly be for the next hour or so.
Just don't run away or steal. Just don't run away or steal Ray from me, and I think we'll get along just fine. By the way, your mother is dead, son.
Oh dear.
And I promise that I will not fap on anyone unconscious this evening.
Okay, well, good.
Good, because I was going to go to sleep early.
I'd like to point out that Senpai joined us today at the provocation of me sending him a slightly lewd portrait from the game Honey Pop. So, y'all can thank me for the things I do on Twitter because I go the extra mile.
I stand guilty. I mean, I was seduced by the beautiful Jack. I didn't have an option. I had to come on and, prove my worth as a pseudo man who watches cartoons from China. So it happens.
Dudes love blue hair and blushy blushes that don't actually happen in nature.
I'm a green hair guy. Look, I watched Code Geass, and I'm still totally in love with CC. And now you're just taunting me.
I should probably put this on, but I won't. I don't have my Jojo hat today.
I'd be totally take it.
Well, everybody at the Anime 3000, please take a drink along with me. I will be your guide. If you want to take a drink whenever I do, just because you'll die.
But with any mention of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure during the podcast, make sure you consume your drink of choice. And while you are imbibing, let's just jump into the first story of the week, coming to us from ANN. A man that was, this poor bastard, a man arrested for a bomb threat to a Precure film screening on Twitter. The guy was making bomb threats on Twitter. The Tokyo Metropolitan Police Department's Yotsuya Station arrested Ikuya Otaki. Boy, his name is so close. A 22-year-old college student from Shibata City on Wednesday for allegedly threatening to blow up a theater for showing a Precure film in Shinjuku on opening day. According to the police, the suspect admitted to the charges against him, stating, "I envied how the characters in the movie are always happy, bright, and forward-looking with all of their hearts. My fond feelings for them turned into jealousy." Now, ladies and gentlemen,
are you sure that this wasn't you that went to that theater and threatened them? Because of the way that you're acting recently, I wouldn't be surprised. Also, that Junji Injo portrait next to that was pretty well placed. Just, not Precure.
Oh, never you mind to the DJM heel turn. I'm fine. I'm fine. I swear, everybody, I'm just fine.
Please join me in the
PD
fight.
Rave?
People be cray.
Pete Rave, this poor guy, he had seemed to have an affinity for an anime that starred very bright, cheerful young Japanese girls, and it broke his little brain.
That's kind of what happens. It kind of just happens when somebody kind of like takes this love of certain media a little too personally, a little too to heart. This person needs a little discipline in their life.
I'd like to point out really quickly.
Go ahead.
Okay, well, really quickly, I need to take a drink for this. AW Brawler in the chat revealing his pinnacle of good taste, let's say, saying, adds to the story, kill him with death. Precure is my Shtuffs. And that's not me being a little bit too buzzed. That is me reading word for word, letter for letter, that Precure is his Shtuffs. And all I can say is AW. Why?
And Jack, you're the one that was saying that I'm the one that you should be worried about.
You're the one we deal with every single week, David. We only deal with AW when I feel like sending him sexy pictures.
That is true. Josh, this poor gentleman. What's your take on this poor gentleman? Unfortunately, probably not getting enough hugs in his life.
No, I don't think it has anything to do with that at all. I mean, if I have to play armchair detective, my personal opinion is this is a guy who didn't like a show. Quite simply just doesn't like the show, and instead of being like most normal people and saying lewd things on the internet, decide to take it one step further. And we see those weirdos every once in a while. Usually they hang out at your local anime club or maybe your conventions, that sort of thing, or sometimes libraries. They typically are unemployed, don't have much, better things to do with their lives. But this guy just got upset. He basically was like, you know what? People don't like my shows and shit. It's not my... Hold on a second. What was the word here? Stuffs. Stuffs, yes. So basically this man got upset. And I think he's just overreacted, obviously, to put it mildly. It's nothing. It's just another... I'm Japan. Like, for example, we had a bigger deal with the freaking... what was that movie there with He Who Shall Not Be Named and the Green Goblin and that Korean movie there. It's like, well, totally, because like that was legit. The bomb threats from that were totally legit. But I don't know. It was a slow day at A&N, and they need to report something. And so, crazy Japanese always sells to the white American. It's just that's what happens.
It happens every week. They just don't publicize it because they don't need to.
Yeah.
But this story in particular really caught my attention because it was one of the... It seems like it's one of the more cutesy weeaboo waifu shows. Just super cute.
It looked to me like Maho Melody Do Re Mi or whatever that one is called that 4Kids used to have. It looked exactly like that because I'd never even seen Precure. But that's exactly what it looked like, and that show is super lolicon looking. I hear it's not, but it looks really lolicon.
You're kind of one of those classic, let's throw out a bunch of one-dimensional characters so that you can pick your favorite and stand it to your heart's content,
I'm the one with
By the way,
glasses.
Petey, how's
I'm the one
Hallyu
with
Juku
a
going?
face.
It's doing well. It's doing well. Nobody listens to it, but it's doing well.
Everybody listen to Hallyu Juku. PD and King Kaz, Brandon Cooper. They talk about K-pop and J-pop, and it's pretty good. And usually there are no crimes.
Yes, usually.
There is a crime against humanity that is happening in the next story. Mighty Number 9,
this
Kickstarter game, has been delayed until early 2016. That is unfortunate. A lot of buzz for this game coming out of the Kickstarter. They announced that it has been delayed from September of this year until the first quarter of 2006 game. The team stated that the game is already complete, but there are still bugs and issues pertaining to the online features that are included in the game.
But then it's not complete.
But
it's still broken.
It's not complete, but it's complete but not refined. Yeah.
Since when did my Mega Man games need internet? I just want to shoot things and get angry at them when I can't shoot things.
And
guys,
not be able to duck.
I see this as a positive because credit to the folks behind Mighty Number 9 for actually saying, hey, everybody, our game isn't quite finished yet, so we're not going to release it broken.
David, are you still mad about Sonic? Are you still mad about Sonic Boom? Which was completed in 19 minutes and 27 seconds, this SGDQ 2015, I want to add. That's how broken it is.
No, I'm actually speaking on behalf of the people that are mad about Batman Arkham Knight.
Oh, well, forget that. That's just that.
And basically damn near 50% of games that come out in the last year and a half. Credit to the folks behind Mighty Number 9 for actually saying, hey, the game's not quite done yet. We're just going to take a little bit longer to try and fix as much of the stuff as possible, and then we're going to release it. So I say good on them. PD, what do you think?
Yeah, I tend to lean more towards what you said, where it's good if it comes out and we see that it's refined and working and it's functioning and not broken, then yeah, we could say, okay, it's good that they took that extra time. As long as, when it comes out, it's finished.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. Josh?
Oh man, I'm gonna sound like an asshole. I think there's a more important Kickstarter going on right now.
Don't worry about sounding like an asshole. I mean, you've seen some of the people we have on this show.
Well, I mean, you guys have Cody Bear. You have Cody Bear. I mean, I will fall long short of the mark. Long story short, Barefoot Gin right now by Last Gasp is going on Kickstarter, and they're having a really hard time getting the funds. At least in my eyes. I mean, they still have plenty of time, and 1/3 of the funds has already been raised. But to me, it's like, I don't know. That's news to me. This is important. Like, today marks the 70th anniversary of the dropping of the bomb on Nagasaki. 2 days ago was Hiroshima. I'd rather see that Kickstarter go forward than
some Mega Man clone.
It's just, I don't know. Like, I'm bitter because
can you really call it a clone when it's the original creator that's doing it?
I mean, Hanna-Barbera has made countless Scooby-Doo clones with a bunch of totally not stoner 60 kids going out to solve mysteries with the token animal, and that's the own company, but that doesn't make them but that's neither here nor there. Just putting that out there that exists.
Yeah, and Barefoot Gin. You seem like Barefoot Gin. Yeah, definitely. There are more interesting Kickstarters to pay attention to. Yeah, for sure.
Barefoot Gin is absolutely paramount. Please. Yes. That was actually one of the only mangas that any school teacher that I'd ever encountered really enjoyed, and for very, very good reason. Because first of all, there's a lot of crap, but secondly, it was just that good, and I just caught sight of my hair whiff on the YouTube, and now I can't get over it, and I need to kind of go away for a second here.
No, Jack, I'm going to keep the camera on you, and not only that. Here's what I need you to do, Jack. Send me the link for Barefoot Gin, and I'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, it's right there in the. I went ahead and put it in the chat. I'll let you know.
All right, cool.
Yeah, so go ahead.
AW, you know you love Cody Byer. We all love Cody Byer. We love him a whole lot.
John makes a good comment. I did bring Cody onto that show, but I'm just saying, like if you watch the new Avengers movie, Tony Stark, did create Ultron. That doesn't make it excusable.
Well, it could have been worse. It could have been much worse.
It could have been. I need to have a sit down with Mr. Bear over tea, Larry King style, and be like, so explain to me why you don't like Evangelion. And just sit there and stare him in the eyes like that. I'll put my explain to me. Yeah, you need to explain that. Yeah.
I mustn't run away.
That is one of those occasions where Cody and I are exactly on the same page, and I'm hoping you guys might be on the same page as for the next story. Initial D, guys. Initial D.
Kinda. I guess.
There's actually going to be a new Initial D movie because it is eternally the 90s.
With the best music ever. 90s. Hey, you know what? The artwork doesn't look terrible for this poster.
No, it
That's
really doesn't.
New. This is a new. I like this new direction for Initial.
I would say that gentleman could use a little wrinkle release.
Yeah, maybe a trip to the dry cleaners.
Yeah, it's just good steam. Yeah, good steam, a good starch. He'll be good. He'll be right as rain.
He'll starch it so much in order to get all the wrinkles out. He'll have to hold his hands completely outward to either side of him.
But yeah, the.
How can I drive?
February 6th of next year, a brand new Initial D movie. Cars, racing, guys with really, really, really funny faces. Petey Rave. Initial D, are you interested? Are you excited? Have you seen any of the other movies or checked this out?
I'm a complete neophyte to Initial D, though I know people that are really enthusiastic about it. Namely, our mutual friend Patrick Swagger, aka Patty McSwag, and what he said of the material. I'd say I would definitely be interested in checking it out if I had an opportunity. Like if I saw it on Netflix, I would totally check it out. But I don't know what to expect. I'm always up for new things, though. That's the thing. So I'm a complete neophyte, but I'd definitely be interested in checking out new things, no matter what.
I can say that it's definitely not bad, but it's once again it's very 90s, for good and for ill.
Yes.
Jack, Initial D. Were you even alive when Initial D started?
I've been playing the games. I play the games. I go to the arcade and I get sad because I wasn't around when Joust was super popular, so nobody cares when I'm good at it. I'm part of the top flyers. Why don't you care, guys? Why don't you care? I know 94 was a long time after 84, but you can forgive me, can't you? I know how to
No.
flap. I know how to beat the pterodactyl. God damn it, love me. But aside from that, Initial D is a really cool game series. I freaking love the soundtrack for it, and I think I watched the first movie. There was that. So I'm probably going to skip the second one and watch this whenever this is available to take a look, because this one looks like the artwork is not terribad. I mean, I didn't really watch it for the artwork anyway. I watch it for cars drifting, cars drifting, and music of this really, really enthusiastic Japanese guy just like, I'm gonna rap really fast in Japanese and I can't do a Japanese accent because that'd be racist.
Yes.
You're finally starting to learn.
Yes.
The training is beginning to stick. Josh, all 90s jokes aside, what do you think of Initial D?
I'm trying to think of how to rap in a Japanese accent so I can go ahead and alleviate that burden from Jack.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, he says, Senpai, come by, and he do the car, and he go vroom, vroom, goodbye. I don't know.
One more reason for you guys to check out Hallyu-Juku, because I know there are a few K and J hip-hop artists that PD could emulate for us, but I won't subject him to that because I want our working relationship and our friendship to continue.
You know what? Patrick McSwaggerson in the chat reminding me that the dub isn't awful for this, and which reminds me of, I'm just going to tell a short story here. I want to say it was, oh god, for the life of me, I can't actually remember the voice actor's name, but he was referring to Jeremy Lay while they were doing the Initial D, and he was playing the spastic kid, the younger one. God, I can't remember his name. One of the schoolboys, but the spazzier one, and he's talking to the girl. Yeah.
Donatello.
April O'Neil. And he's talking to Jeremy Lay's character, and I do remember the animation for that part of the anime, and really enjoying that story where where voice actors will often set up, bombs, or they'll say something funny to break the concentration of the voice actor who dubs after them, and his was, "Hey Jeremy, remember this?" Because the character is just going psycho. And that was probably a much less interesting story, but I think it's so cool. I think it's
so good.
It's amazing. Wow, even better than Mama. You're all dead to me.
No, Jack, you know I love the Cooking Mama game. You know that. I've said this before. I love them. I truly do.
I should repost my bloody Cooking Mama portrait for everybody to enjoy on Twitter, because that is one of my favorite things I've ever drawn.
Jack, here is something you and I... We should do, along with your Professor Layton Let's Plays, we should do maybe a Cooking Mama or a Babysitting Mama Let's Play on your YouTube
really
page.
Fun. I feel really bad, though, for those of you who kind of follow through with that. I know One Eye does, so if he ever gets a wind of this, I have to start from the beginning with Layton because I corrupted 2 hours worth of video. And then we're going to go back to that section again and complete it. And I'm not going to invite Andrew. Yes.
By the way, Jack, where on the internets would we be able to see your Let's Plays? What's your YouTube handle?
Trick or
Just to
treat.
get it out there.
you saw that I didn't put in the show notes, you jerk. YouTube.com/user/ Are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? I hope you're sitting down. Yoshi Star Spirit. YouTube.
All right.
YouTube, please. I swear I've tried so many times to change it.
For the new listeners out there, Jack absolutely hates the YouTube username that is in the possession. I personally love it, and I think that it should be worn as a badge of honor. One other thing, just one more thing before we jump into something that I thought of completely at random. We have another Kickstarter goal reached. Red Ash.
Oh, yeah.
The anime Red Ash reached its Kickstarter goal, coming to us from Crunchyroll, in the final day of its Kickstarter campaign. Studio 4C, the team behind us, the Berserk movies, and even the highly underrated new Thundercat series, reached $150,000 to crowdfund Red Ash Magic Cicada.
Magic Cicada.
Magic Cicada. I like Magic Cicada because I just imagine like a cicada that spins its antenna around. It's got a star at the end, and then it's suddenly dressed in a tutu.
Yes.
Magic Cicada.
No, magic cicadas are what exist in free eternal summer. They just don't shut up.
Yes.
The cicadas
Exactly.
in the end of
The cicadas are all the dead spirits of teenage girls in that show.
See, like,
Yes.
I'm going to pitch a show. This is my Kickstarter, okay? We're going to have magic
Go.
cicadas.
See, and this is exactly what I was going to throw around the horn. So, Josh, you're first. Pitch your Kickstarter. Go.
Oh, my bad. Okay, I jumped the gun.
No,
But
go.
long
You're
story short,
smarter than him. You're smarter than him, Josh.
well, I wouldn't go that far, but thank you for the
So-
compliment. Long story short. Long story
Why did
short,
I say that?
what we need to do is we need to take free Eternal Summer, and we need to take Magic Cicadas, and we need to mix them together. Basically, picture this. You guys plays Metal Gear Solid, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Basically, the entire anime is about this Free, one of the characters from Free. One of the swimmers is just walking up the river. He's walking up the river, but it's always summer, and he has to fight the spirits of dead Magic Cicadas. That's my anime.
I like it. I like
Okay.
it. I like it.
And he gets to the end, and he finds out that it's not actually the Sorrow, it's Gary Busey.
I've already officially
Ooh,
backed it. I've already backed it at the physical copy T-shirt level.
Oh,
It's already got.
I didn't even know there were T-shirts.
I like the Gary Busey. It's very Vince Russo Swerve-like, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm getting the T-shirt with the Gary Busey face that he makes at the end.
Gary Busey always makes a face, even when he's not trying.
Yes, exactly.
It's like
This is how
Nicolas
his lips
Cage
are.
if Nicolas Cage had facial muscles.
The poor man was in a car accident, had severe brain damage. Petey Rave, pitch your Kickstarter campaign. Also, since you are our resident expert on East Asian pop culture, I will allow you to crowdfund a dream J-pop or K-pop act as well. So, Petey Rave, go.
I will say my K-drama Kickstarter is going to be a K-drama that is part a slice of life teen girl dramedy, and part what's that word? Part spin-off of the Gilmore Girls. It is Lane.
This is right in your wheelhouse, Petey. Knowing you, this is very much in your wheelhouse.
Lane decides to take the family, the husband, the twin kids, to South Korea, to kind of connect with her roots, see her dad, and she meets her niece, who is dealing with her own life issues, just like Rory did on Gilmore Girls, but she's a Korean schoolgirl going to Korean high school. And then,
I
she
love it, Petey. Keep going. I'm so ready to contribute at the executive producer level. Keep going.
Yes, and it just kind of goes through that life of slice of lifestyle, very dramedy, very kind of fast paced, a lot of fast dialogue, very Amy Sherman Palladino,
A question for you.
But not Diablo Cody though.
No.
Can the niece be played by Huey Lee?
Maybe I was thinking.
Because I will be a backer.
Hiyori?
I'll be a backer.
Hiyori?
As long as Amy Schumer isn't in it, you can have your Amy Schumer style dialogue. But
Yes.
that's
I was
stopping me
thinking
from getting
somebody
the Blu-ray.
younger than Hiyori Lee. I was thinking somebody more like Unji of A-Pink, maybe, or maybe Solhyun of AOA. But I'd have to pick him. I have to think about it again. I don't know about casting yet. It's all a matter of who makes sense as related to Keiko Agena. So, which is tough considering she's not actually Korean.
I'm gonna back this at the StarCraft level.
Yes.
I want all the storyboards, and they all better have a kiss mark from all the female staff, because I don't know why.
Yes.
Jack, are you looking for a waifu?
I have waifus. This is my waifu. She's beautiful.
Ideally, the show will star Gong Hyo Jin and Yoon Hye.
Okay, so far the chat room is giving Petey's Kickstarter a lot of love, complete with the hashtag #FundPeteyNow. So if you're out there on the interwebs, use the hashtag #FundPeteyNow. Count Jack Noir. Pitch your Kickstarter.
I took a couple extra shots so I would be sure this would be nice and incoherent, because I could go on and on about, oh man, I really want just something a little bit more visually stimulating, something like Soul Eater, but isn't completely incompetent, and we can have ourselves a little bit of fun with that. But I decided I would change my mind, because that's basically kind of what I'm doing, except I don't draw like Soul Eater. But anyway, that's beside the point. Beside the point is, it's going to be directed by Shinichiro Watanabe, and it's going to have Michiru Yamane doing the voices, doing the soundtrack, and we're going to have Zach Galifianakis and Bobby Moynihan, and Zach Galifianakis is junior high schoolboy, and he's really shy because he wants to confess his love to his childhood friend, and Bobby Moynihan says, no, we're sisters, I'm related to you by blood, because it's a harem, and that's what you do, because I'm not related to you by blood, but I'm your child, and your sister, so we're related by blood. And so Michiru Yamane just going at it with the keyboards and the organs, and then Alucard shows up and he goes, "Whoa, hang on a second."
Keep it together, Jake.
He just says, "Wait a second," and that's how it ends, right there.
That's how an episode ends. Wait a second.
And then we find a bicycle. We find a bicycle, and it's shaped like.
You got a bicycle.
It's shaped like Senketsu from Kill la Kill, and we burn it. And we ride it off the side of the bridge that Bill Cosby fell off of in Ghost Dad. The end.
I like to ride my bicycle.
And that's the end theme.
My bike.
This is almost as amazing as using Roundabout by Yes as an end theme.
I understood.
Does that count as taking a drink? Does that count as taking a drink?
I'm going to say yes.
I think that counts as taking a drink, everybody. I think referencing an ending theme, I'm gonna judge that as taking a drink. So
exactly.
We wouldn't take a drink for that one.
So if you fund for $1, you get a toilet paper roll that the staff is using during production, and after $100, you get the bicycle.
You get the bicycle.
I'm so sorry.
It's only one spot. It's first come, first serve.
And there is the Jack D apology for the A3K podcast. Now, ladies and gentlemen, usually at this part of the program when we're all pitching ideas, it comes to me, David Majors. Some of you might know me as DJM. And this is normally the part of the show where I start yelling and screaming and I let out all my anger and fury and fighting spirit to try and show all of you just how much something means to me. So for the audio listeners and for everyone out there at home, I'm going to put something up on the screen right now. And then everyone else is just going to sit back and let me cut my wrestling promo.
Yes.
So right now, I'm putting a little 8-bit Sonic the Hedgehog keychain up on the screen for the audio listeners.
Is that a ruler?
It is. It's actually yes. It's a little 8-bit Sonic the Hedgehog keychain.
Look at my craft store cred. I work at a craft store. I know about perler beads. I know the
Ladies and
sprites.
gentlemen, it's time. My Kickstarter will require about $2 billion. But it's as simple as this. I'm going to save Sonic the Hedgehog.
Impossible.
My idea is to take the Sonic the Hedgehog property and brand from Sega and Sonic Team and make one decent, above average Sonic the Hedgehog game. Because for a lot of you out there, Sonic is a joke that is relegated to internet memes and terrible comics! But
It's no use!
I will never, ever, ever give up on Sonic the Hedgehog. And at the executive producer level, I will personally fly you out to my home and make you a plate of chili dogs. At the $1,000 level, I will make sure that after the post-production and after this game comes out, you will have Crush 40 play in your backyard. And they will play the entire soundtrack of this Sonic the Hedgehog game, which will be good. It will be beta tested, Charlie tested, Delta Juliet, Mike tested, to make sure that everything works upon its release. It will have platforming. It will have speed because, yes, Sonic gotta go fast. You goddamn right Sonic's gotta go fast. But it will be a good Sonic game. It will be a great Sonic game. This franchise will be revived. And my 90s nostalgia that I don't usually hold on to will finally be vindicated. I will bring Sonic back to prominence! I just need your help.
Yes, master.
I just...
Well, David collects himself. David, it's okay. It's okay. David, have a chili dog, okay? Remember all the good times we had while we coursed around Lake Robotnik? That was great. Except it should have been Lake Eggman, but it was Lake Robotnik. Either way.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the Robotnik Eggman thing. What I'm not okay with...
It's kind of like P. Diddy.
What I'm not okay with is broken games that are released as launch titles. What I'm not okay with is decent games that are not given an ending. What I'm not okay with is a game like Sonic Generations not getting nearly enough love that it deserves.
So you want it to be like Sonic Generations? Because I was actually going to ask, like, what kind of game is this going to be like? Is it going to be like original Sonic the Hedgehog, or is it going to be like Sonic Adventure? Please no. Or is it going to be like Sonic Generations?
Stretch goal, second game will be a complete 3D Sonic Generations style port of the main game. You'll have one of each, both full games, fully tested, Alpha, Beta, Charlie, Foxtrot tested, all the way up to L, Lima tested, to make sure that it is not broken, make sure the music is good, make sure the voice acting is decent but not too corny, because I don't want to give any of you fuckers meme material. I swear to God.
I want to remark to AW Brawler. He says, for Sonic to be saved, Miyamoto needs to handle him personally like a Mario game. Okay. Yeah, no. Sonic Adventure. Star Fox Adventures. No. No, AW. Do you forget? I know it was mostly Rare's fault, but Miyamoto was like, it doesn't matter, it's just Star Fox. Let's ruin it and then go back to it next.
Okay, question from AW in the chat room. Asking me, will I keep Shadow the Hedgehog? Well, that will be the 3 edgy 5 me stretch goal. If we reach that stretch goal, there will be, let's say, yeah, I'm gonna be an executive here. I'm gonna be the big time executive of a game company and say, yes, there will be DLC entitled 3 Edgy 5 Me, where you will play as Shadow the Hedgehog.
I do want to say
I know some of you just need your dark and gritty characters, like all of you that love Vegeta so much.
David,
yes, we will keep Shadow.
David, I would like for you to possibly make good on giving him a little bit of a higher status. Allow me to be the foolish intern stammering and stuttering and dropping the coffee all over the place during the business meeting and give you a little bit of a spiel as to why Shadow the Hedgehog, not intentionally in the way that he is meant to be, which is in the 3 edgy 5 me sense, but in the sense of... Okay. Let's all remember how Shadow the Hedgehog has been. He's always been the clone of Sonic. Well, I mean, kinda, sorta, but, you know, I didn't play all the games, admittedly, but as far as I know, no one knows if he was supposed to be a clone of Sonic or Sonic was a clone of him. Either way, he's supposed to be, like, the dark version of Sonic, which makes Metal Sonic a little weird, but let's forget about that. His dialogue, while it has been meme-worthy for the longest time, is actually genius. If you are one of those people who does not just quote that insufferable green dog from Invader Zim, yes, Internet, I've discovered your terrible, terrible habits, and I'm disappointed.
I'm so proud of you right now.
I'll talk about that a little bit more later, but Shadow the Hedgehog is absolutely self-aware in the best of ways, by which I mean his voice actor is. His voice actor in every single one of his performances is going full dramatic, melodramatic even, ham, with amazing one-liners that you just encompass the character, and if you treat him as something besides an adversary who is supposed to represent the darkness in Sonic, because Sonic doesn't care. Sonic just treats him like whatever, who cares? He's got a girlfriend that's a human for some reason up in space, who cares? No. You treat Shadow like the one who was brought onto the mission because he could deal the damage, but at the same time, nobody wants to talk to him. You know the one that you go to dinner parties with and they say one thing in that muttering voice of theirs and you just turn away. But that's the entertainment value. Because you know why?
So what you're saying is, Jack,
you're not good enough to be my fake. That's what I'm saying.
Jack, it sounds like you want Shadow the Hedgehog to be voiced by Cody Byer.
Probably.
Now, Joshua Dunham, I have a question for you, and with all of this, I've listened to Senpai Coast to Coast, and I want to offer a request to you, sir. Would you, could you, should you, please, if you would be so kind, be the voice of Sonic the Hedgehog?
Here's the thing.
Could you bring it 90s way past cool style, Josh Dunham?
See, it's a funny thing because I received a compliment the other day from an acquaintance of mine that a recent show I did is I had the 90s swag voice going on, whatever that means. I guess that means I'm equivalent to Bill Nye the Science Guy in some regard. I don't know. Bam.
Only if you drop the F-bomb while you talk about creationism. Only then can you be Bill Nye.
But long story short, I will agree to do the voice of Sonic, which is basically selling my soul. If you agree to this, I want DLC of Knuckles called Let's Fist This Shit Up.
I love it.
What about Big the Cat?
And then Crystal has to be a main character.
What about Big the Cat? DLC listed as Froggy
I'm not gonna play.
with 29 eyes.
I'm not gonna play the game. I'm just gonna take and get payment.
Jack.
Yes.
You were doing great for a while.
Yes.
You could have said Espio. You could have said Rouge. You could have said just about anybody from the Chaotix team. But Big the Cat.
Espio's great.
Got to the mute.
Oh.
I figured that Espio would be just a given because every time you run into a wall with him, he shouts, "I fail! Damn it! Why aren't I good enough? I ran into a wall in a Sonic game. I fail."
Well,
why wouldn't you just include that by default?
If you manage to not run into a wall in one of the more recent Sonic games, then you are 2 MLG for me. And that's the kind of thing that I'm trying to fix.
360 spin dash.
So we've got our voice actors, and please, everyone, at Just Call Me DJM on Twitter, if you want to support this Sonic game revival. P. Ray?
Are we looking for? I'm just curious. I'm sorry. When you say the voice, are we looking for something of, traditional? You're too slow. Or are we looking for? You're too slow.
Oh dang.
I mean,
well, how about just plain old Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog? I know David likes that.
Because I'm curious.
I thought we were going.
Actually, I did. Yeah. He was the voice in Adventures. I have come to terms with the whole Jaleel White thing.
I'm glad because you were really sad, and I thought I was tempting myself to get muted again. But you know what, David? I'm proud of you. It looks like our training has paid off. Everybody, please fight against David because he's a really scary heel. Please. It's real scary.
Oh yeah, PD, I've turned heel on the A3K fans.
Nice.
He's just turning heel every day.
Yes.
Okay.
Turn heel every day.
We gotta get Pro Jared involved in this somehow. I'm just saying. He's either gotta be a beta tester or the voice of some enemy somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
It'd be just amazing.
Deej, you wanted to ask me something.
Yeah, Petey. Since we've all made our pitches, what have you been consuming these days? What have you been dotting, good sir?
So one thing, of course, as you can see by the shirt, I was just at Nerdtacular, which means I was my dotting part of it was hiking a mountain, looking over this, the fine city of Salt Lake City, Utah, which was fantastic. Hanging out with a bunch of nerd family. It was fun. I played I played a beta or a demo of Ghostbusters, the board game that was just debuted at Gen Con, and I think that's one worth checking out if you're into tabletop games, because that one is kind of like a cool little low-key tabletop RPG, kind of hybrid with the board game, because you have levels and you have experience points and you have scenarios that you work through. You have to do a lot of teamwork, and it's actually really cool. Should be up on Curly's YouTube channel, our buddy Curly from the Drunk Kids Gaming.
Your
on
buddy
his YouTube.
Curly.
Yes.
Cool. I actually have a question about this game because I am a tabletop gamer.
Yes.
Would you consider it? I mean, it's kind of a terrible point of reference to have, but would you consider it a good thing for a Pathfinder gamer to pick up? You think?
I think so. I think it's like a good little, it's usually like a 20 or 30 minute, depending on the campaign. It's a nice quick thing to play. Obviously the characters are defined, so there's not a lot of special storytelling, but it could be. I would say, yeah. I would say go check out some of the. Once it comes up, go check out the demo on Drunk Kids Gaming YouTube page. We did live streamed it. It was really cool. Aside from that, it was a lot of fun stuff. I got to check out The Contender, Justin Robert Young's new upcoming Kickstarter game, and a lot of fun stuff. I hit Vegas on the way back, as you can see by the leg cup back there. You see in the background, I got myself one of them leggy frozen drinks, which is fantastic.
Fly from Las Vegas?
Yes, I flew to and from Las Vegas. Yeah, and I went. Hung out.
I asked this because I have family that lives in Salt Lake City, so I'm just wondering. You flew in from Las Vegas and drove to Salt Lake City?
Yeah, me and Mitsula.
Okay.
I took the trip with Mitsula, the micro, the old school. But yeah, that was just the kind of the hanging out stuff. I did a bunch of fun stuff in Vegas and stuff like that. But the main thing what I've been dotting, I will say, the main thing I'll get into. I did start watching a few more episodes of Get Ready to Drink, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I will say it is just fantastic. There is just some ridiculousness. Dio Bravo is hilariously evil in
Brando,
the most
please.
ridiculous. Dio Brando.
Brando. There you go.
Dio
Like
Brando.
Marlon Brando, only less whispery and more.
With more Bravo. With more Bravo.
Exactly. But yeah, and then when the gentleman by the name of Robert E.O. Speedwagon shows up and introduces himself, I knew that was a thing in JoJo, but I somehow was not prepared for it happening, even knowing full well that was a thing. But that still caught me off guard, and I loved it. So many great moments. Dio going full ridiculous vampire heel, like
So good.
putting on the mask. It's like, I will use your blood. And he tries to stab JoJo. Puts on the mask, becomes the crazy vampire guy. So much fun. I look forward to consuming a lot more of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And I thank you, Jack. I'd have to check Crunchyroll.
And you're welcome, by the way. You're most welcome for.
I think I'm about at episode 5. I know I'm a little slow, but I'm about at episode 5.
It's a lot to take in. You're not quite sure where to begin. I can see that. There's a lot to absorb, and sometimes, when blonde characters have pink hair, it can be a little disorienting to begin with. But thankfully, and I'm going to take another drink here as soon as I'm done with this, you have started, and Phantom Blood is a really, really strong start to the series.
Yes.
So I'm glad that you picked it up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's close to my heart anyway, but...
Josh Dunham. I detected some dissent in your voice. What are you dotting? And it sounds like you might have a hot take on JoJo.
No, not a hot take. It's just I personally prefer part 2. I think some of the strongest JoJo's was actually without Dio, and I know I can sense the anger of 1,000 planets focusing on me right now. I'm about to spontaneously combust. But muda. No, long story short, that's it's an introductory arc, and unfortunately, I felt the animation really, really suffered in Phantom Blood past the first 2 episodes, and so JoJo's overall, I know it's a limited animation show because of just the amount of the art style alone does not allow for KyoAni levels of animation. So, I knew that going in, but I think part 2 was just handled much, much better. I mean, maybe it's Sorachi voicing, was it Joseph? So.
Yeah, I will say that I'm looking forward to checking out part 2. I will go through the whole thing, just like I've done with other things. Last thing I will say. And I'll let kind of the crew take over. I'll let you guys take over. I will do my K-drama pick of the week. For those that haven't checked it out.
Here we go.
I will.
Go ahead.
Mad question though. I'm sorry about my mic.
It's gimmick infringement. But go ahead.
Well, Well, you know. But is it the one from Mad TV? Because that would be amazing if you ever picked that one of these weeks. Because
No.
that is the greatest K-drama. Have you seen that, Petey?
I don't know if I have. I don't
Okay,
think so.
go to YouTube, look up Mad TV Korean drama. It is absolutely imperative that somebody like you who really enjoys it watch it because there are subtitle
I remember this.
shenanigans.
I remember
Yeah.
this.
Subtitle shenanigans, the ever often strange plot twist at the end that makes no sense, where
Yeah.
occurring at different plot points at different times, bad translations, just overall it is most excellent. But I think the one thing that I can say that really sums it up to get you to watch it is and that's all you need to know.
I will say.
I will confirm this, but go ahead, Petey.
I will say, if this is kind of like a standard K-pop K-drama 101 show, but if those for anybody that hasn't seen it, and it got brought to my attention because it finally showed up on the Pasiones channel, which is the K-drama, which is not actually any soap operas dubbed into Spanish if it wasn't already in Spanish on TV that my aunt watches. Started showing it. And I think it's like through the whole run. But it's kind of a K-drama 101 show, but I think if you haven't seen it, you should. It kind of introduces you to this K-drama as a genre, while still being good and funny and cute. Coffee Prince.
I was going to say, Petey, what's the name of the show?
Coffee Prince, or
It's a
First
different
Shop of
show.
Coffee Prince.
We just wanted to talk about K-dramas until we caught on.
Yeah, it is. Coffee Prince, aka First Shop of Coffee Prince. It is fun. It is cute. It does have a few of the tropes that you would know for K-dramas: the girl being passed off as that, or being mistaken as a boy, not being able to say that she's a girl, things like that. But
I'm totally not rolling my eyes right now.
yes, it does have a couple of those tropes, but it is a fun, well done show that is cute and well made, and it's well acted. It's got Yoon Hye and Gongju are fantastic actors, and they do a good job of doing that trope but doing it well. So if you haven't seen it, I recommend checking out Coffee Prince.
Coffee Prince.
We now go
Josh.
to David's weekly Sonic level of the week.
Nope.
Because this is a shtick.
Josh Dunham, what are you consuming, sir? What have you been dotting?
So, just as a brief, I guess I have to ask the question. What's the typical format? Do we go all at once, or are we just going to say, I watch this, and then kind of leave that on the table?
We've been going around the horn with it already, and it's your turn.
I'm gonna yell at you the whole time, Josh. No one will be able to hear you.
You see, you can't yell at me because my shit taste is already shit.
In space, no one can.
Josh,
so
what have you been watching these days?
So this season of anime I've not been impressed with at all. I've been trying to do some cleanup on my my anime list profile because I hate seeing 15 different seasons of shows uncompleted. So basically what I've been trying to do is go back, watch Yuki Yuna as a Hero. I watched that when I was living in California before I moved. We never finished it with the anime club, so I'm trying to finish that one. Watching some Jojo's, of course. Okay, go ahead and take a drink with that. What I've really been enjoying, actually, is I just recently watched, for the first time, Grave of the Fireflies. Great film. Especially given the time period of when I was watching it, what was on my mind at the time. It was very impactful. For those who don't know, Grave of the Fireflies is basically about the Tokyo firebombing. It's a film directed by Isao Takahata, if I'm not mistaken, the same one who did Princess Kaguya as of late. So I definitely recommend that. I recently got in the mail my double volume of Nausicaa, The Valley of the Wind, put out by Viz. This is the non-shitty version. Well, yeah, as far as Viz goes, of course. That being said, I'm still going through it and enjoying it. It's just super, super beautiful. And I just keep hearing the ting, ting, ting of muted Jack.
She's grounded.
I see that, yeah. And she's just sitting there smiling behind. It's kind of like in that 2001 Space Odyssey. It's like, open the doors, Hal. I cannot do that, Dave. I'm sorry. And she's just staring with like that. Stop! You're looking into my soul. You're looking into my soul. But anyway, trying to catch up on Gintama. I mean, I'm watching a numerous amount of things. One thing, if I'm gonna stop bantering, Space Runaway Ideon. Everyone, stop what you're doing. Watch Ideon.
Josh Dunham, my man.
Watch
ninja. My ninja, Space Runway Ideon. My ninja, Josh Dunham.
It's a great show, and people know about it because of what happens. I'm not going to say anything about it because I want people to watch the show and experience it. It's a Tomino show that you should have been watching instead of Gino Reconquista. And
I thought that one was okay.
I thought Reconquista was fine as well if you knew what Tomino was trying to do. It was fine. But the thing is, if you were watching it as an anime, like most anime fans do, they don't pay attention to what's going on in Japan. So how can you watch Gino Reconquista and be like, oh yeah, I totally get the show without no knowledge of the political climate at the time? Yeah. You know, it's like, this is Tomino. This is the guy who's so freaking vocal about everything.
This is true.
He
was off his meds.
Well, I respect Tomino for a lot of his opinions, actually. I still think Attack on Titan is not the strongest thing ever, just to say the nicest way possible. I don't want to attack people's shows. I don't want to attack people's shows unless it's genuinely bad. Now, Attack on Titan's not my cup of tea, but I do agree with Mr. Tomino. It's not that great. And he's produced. If people want to
commit suicide because of the sadness and the artwork, they can, but I'm not gonna, because I want to live.
Ideon.
Ideon. People need to watch Ideon. It's the non-Gundam Tomino show that whether or not you
Queen. Yes.
Whether or not you liked Evangelion, Ideon, half of Ideon was stuck into that show. And me being a big fan of both shows, you guys get your hands on it and watch it. It's never going to be licensed. I say that, knock on wood, because Galactic Heroes. But you get what I'm saying. Like, watch Ideon. It has the greatest opening theme, almost better than Space Dandies. Almost better than Space Dandies.
Almost though.
Almost.
It's got boobies. It's got boobies.
Oh, it's not about the boobies.
Also, the movie adaptation has fantastic Blu-ray box art.
It's got Ian Sinclair singing in the booby song. I found myself a nurse. That's all I'm gonna sing.
Restaurants.
I came into Space Dandy in the same anime club I was watching Yuki Yuna, and I came into the High School Musical episode. Okay.
Oh dear. That's not a good point to get.
No,
that's a great point. That's a great point.
That was the perfect point because when I saw him, and this is camera, I'm tempted to get up and recreate the action that he did, but I can't because I can't. I'm sorry. But he's sitting there slapping it, going booty, booty, booty. I'm just like, oh man, this is awesome. This is awesome. Why have I not watched? Where was this show? And so,
Shinichiro Watanabe had to get a little bit horny before he could actually give the green light on a show like this, because they said, hey, we want to do actual fan service this time, and he went, give me a couple of days.
You had my curiosity, but now you have my attention.
Shinichiro Watanabe is Space Dandy.
Josh, great choice, which I second wholeheartedly with Ideon. Please watch Ideon. Please, please, please. Watch that show.
I'll take a look.
When I want to hear everyone.
Jack, you still need to watch Divergence Eve.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Josh.
Everyone who's listening right now, I want you to contact me in some regard, saying, "Hey, look, Jackass, I heard you on this show. You were talking about Ideon. I watched it. I want to know your opinion of the first 2 episodes. Very specifically, the other people on this show. I haven't finished it yet, so I'm not speaking from any high horse. I mean, I'm only on like episode 17 or so, and then just like all the other things, it's kind of like, oh, I'll get to it eventually. Like, yeah, I'm totally.
I will recuse myself. I will recuse myself.
But
when it comes to Ideon, because no secret, I'm kind of a fan of the work of Tomino, like a lot. So I will recuse myself.
Hey,
but
Jack,
again,
I'm looking at Google image of
completely
this, and it
second that
looks
choice.
great. Just wanted to let you know. It looks good.
All right. Well, Jack D,
Yes!
arbiter of all things good taste, what are you consuming? Jack?
Is that a purposeful mute?
Nope. It looks like in the midst of one of Jack's diatribes to tell us how much better taste she has than all of us, she might have frozen on us.
Also, it's an amazing freeze if you look down there with her half-closed eyes.
As soon as you start talking to me, it happens. It's the worst.
Smoke weed every day.
Hey.
I was gonna talk of my enemies, but then I got...
Jack?
Yes, sir.
Jack. What are you dotting?
Okay. Well, I've been going around the whole spectrum of watching, playing, reading, and consuming. I'm consuming this. I've been reading Dickens' Fur Coat and Charlotte's Unanswered Letters, as in Charlotte Bronte, and hey, I'm going to get a little pretentious because sometimes David's just a little not pretentious enough. So I really like Victorian literature, and it's a really interesting look into how Charles Dickens is a total psychopath and determined and awesome and strange, and a bunch of psychopaths decided we're going to start Punch Magazine and be really angry, and it's really interesting to look at Victorian era of these people that you think have written these hoity-toity books, and they're really just walking around and basically being early gossip column bait circa 1890. So it's really interesting. And so once again, for anybody who might be interested in something like that, if you like anything by Charles Dickens, Charlotte Bronte, anybody like that, Dickens' Fur Coat and Charlotte's Unanswered Letters. It's a very, very good book. Other than that, I went on to PlayStation Store after a long time because it's summer, so I thought there'd be a summer sale, and I bought a couple of games, both bird-related. One was Prinny 2, which is the spin-off, platformer action spin-off of Disgaea, which is a favorite series of mine, so there's that. I already had the first Prinny game, so I bought the second one. Dude, it's awesome, dude. I'm trying to go through Nightmare world mode, and I just can't. And then I went for another bird-related game. Vita recently released a port of Hatoful Boyfriend, and I'm not sure what to even say about that at this point. I'll just leave that for next time because I'll probably have completed it by then because it's not very long. But I've already match-made two other birds, because I'm not a bird, but there was a toucan and a cockatiel, and they were both.
Are you a bird or are you a turd?
I'm a bird turd now, but it's Hatoful Boyfriend. It's strange. That's the bottom line for that. And
You're done.
What I really did.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, good. Because I was going to start whining, and nobody wants that, because my whining is annoying. And she really likes Disney XD. She's actually the reason I started watching and even found out about things like Gravity Falls and Wander Over Yonder. Anybody who's been following my Twitter has been seeing that I've been saying a lot of good things about a lot of the lineup, such as Star vs. the Forces of Evil, something that I think a lot of anime fans that are in the audience would really enjoy, because it's basically a magical girl series, very much that odd fish out kind of tale that we all had back in the day with things, old cartoons, things like is very reminiscent of the life and times of Juniper Lee, which I know is maybe a little bit past a lot of you guys' time, seeing as how you're all so old, but it was a little bit past my time too, but it was really good, and so there was that. And I've been really, really enjoying what I'm seeing of Pen Zero Part-Time Hero. I talked about it last week, and all I had to say then was this Wolverine guy, art teacher, looks incredible. But now I have more to say, and what I have to say is this. Forgive me, David. I'm going to mention the show that we decided we weren't going to mention again, but I'm only going to mention it in passing just to make this point, okay? You know the show I'm talking about. It's the one with the rocks. I don't
the show with the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The show with
I thought
the
you were
rocks.
going to say the show that sends me into a rage, but you can talk about the show with the rocks. Talk about the show with the rocks.
Good. Well, in passing. I'm not often to get up on the soapbox and say things that are going to suddenly label me as somebody who goes on Tumblr and writes a million paragraphs, because that's not my style, and I find a lot of that to be really pointless. But what I also find pointless is people finding fault with shows and then also trying to lift up other shows as a piece of treasure, such as Kill la Kill. You guys are idiots if you thought that Kill la Kill was empowering in any way. She got raped. We've gotten confirmation from Mark. He's seen it now. He agrees. You have no excuse. Mark knows all. But I have an issue with people thinking that a show, and the show I'm speaking of, the show with the rocks, is Steven Universe, thinking that it can really encompass a lot of gender identity issues when almost all of its characters, specifically the magical sentient space rocks, are all women and feminine looking and referred to as women. There is a show, and this is true, called Pen Zero Part-Time Hero on Disney XD, where each character knowingly enters the body of a character who is a hero in the world that they have to upset the balance of good and evil, and they don't even question it. They're just there, they're a maid all of a sudden, even though they were a teenage pubescent boy, and they just deal with it. They barely make any jokes about it. It's not played in any sort of comedic sense. They're just there to do their job and keep the balance of good and evil together. So I'm going to say this right now. All of you who are sitting there thinking that Steven Universe was a really progressive show for a lot of reasons, hey, you know what? Go ahead and believe that garbage. But in the meantime, I'm going to watch something that takes it to a whole other level, which isn't bringing it to your attention. If we don't bring it to your attention and we just treat it like it's any other thing, like, fine, I'm a girl now, even though I was a guy a couple minutes ago. That's perfectly awesome and fine, and the show has been getting a lot of praise from a very small group of people, and it needs to be acknowledged a little bit more. Also, great animation, and I would love to see something like this adapted into a video game. Hallelujah! Holy shit! The end.
All right.
Congratulations.
All right. I've been watching God Eater. It's also on Crunchyroll now. Check it out. It's one show from this anime season that I think is okay. I've been watching Ex Machina. It's a good movie if you're really into the whole sci-fi man-machine stuff like I am. Thank you. Josh Dunham, thank you so much. Tell us a little bit about Senpai Coast to Coast, and what else do you have going on?
Well, Senpai Coast to Coast. The tagline is, it's a last resort, the internet's last resort for, sorry, you're making the Geodude movie sound sick, I'm sorry. Maybe it's the internet's last resort.
The show with the rocks.
Yes, the show with,
the show with the rocks is Geodude.
The show with the rocks is the Geodude movie. I knew it was.
Exactly.
It's Geodude the movie with one named, Mr. White and the other named Jesse.
Take that, Rebecca Sugar Splenda.
But Senpai Coast to Coast, I talk about anime. I tried to get more involved with what Japanese pop culture is and try and talk about things that, or try and bring attention, things that kind of help define the fandom that we enjoy so much. I think a lot of anime, this is my personal feeling, a lot of anime is not anime. And that is, like, in order to, understand what is going on in a show, why it's going on, there's something more to it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be surprised how many freaking Kamen Rider Tokusatsu references are in something, half the things from Gainax, you know what I'm saying? And you wouldn't understand that unless you tried. And that's the goal, is I'm trying to understand it. I don't pretend to know everything, but when I do know something, I want to bring it to someone else's attention, because that's cool. That's what friends do. That's, so... long story short, I have a podcast by the same name, Senpai Coast to Coast. Recently, the most recent episode, I did a small I don't want to say tribute. I lack the proper word for it, and I apologize. The 70th passing of Hiroshima was recent, and so I did something to kind of vent my feelings on that and try and bring it to the attention of the anime fandom, because they don't think about things like that. And if you do, and you're part of the anime fandom, then I apologize. I'm not trying to insult, but if the shoe fits, so.
It's just something you've seen and you noticed about the fandom as a whole. Yeah.
I just think, like, look, the recent fandom, Hideaki Anno made a comment, is anime dying? No, but the fandom is. The fandom is becoming an incestual cesspool of scum and villainy, as Obi-Wan would put it. And it's very difficult to bring people out of the mire, especially when they're only in the fandom for 2 years at a time, and they're high schoolers. In 2 years, anybody could be gone. The people like us who sit and podcast about it and try and make something out of the fandom, we're the people who are there for the vanguard. So how do we stop what's happening all around us? Well, you have to say something. It's kind of just like any other goal in life. I don't know. Josh is on a soapbox that he doesn't need to be on now. So Josh is stepping off. Please listen to me at Senpai Coast to Coast.
Excellent point, though. Excellent
Senpai
point.
Coast to Coast.
Very good.
Petey Rave?
You are a good senpai.
Rave?
Yes. I am on Rebelli.net for all of my shows. Like DJ mentioned, Halijuku, do East Asian pop culture, everything but anime, and mostly just shooting the shit about what Kaz and I caught our attention this week and whatnot. Record Breakers, we talk about music. Fanny Pack Wrestling tomorrow live, if you're watching live, or it'll be up on Rebelli.net, the most recent episode. We're gonna turn the clock back to the 1930s, Throwback Sunday, for oldie wrestling. We're gonna see Thunder Kitty in her prime, Jervis Conbelly in his prime, a couple of moonshiners, one of which bears a striking resemblance to a modern indie wrestler who's on his retirement tour. And all of that fun stuff. But yeah, check out all that stuff on Rebelli.net or Rebelli TV on YouTube. Subscribe, like, share. That's it.
Thank you, Pedro, mi hermano, and I will see you tomorrow. Jack D.
Yeah, sure.
Could you give me your YouTube channel where you have your speed draws and your Let's Plays one more time?
I deserve this for how I've been acting today.
Yes, you do.
http://YouTube dot.
Normally I would speed you up. I would normally speed you up, but I want you to do the whole thing.
youtube.com/user/Yoshi, as in the adorable green dinosaur that you kill multiple times in Super Mario World, and especially in Kaizo, you sick bastards who made that game. Oh my god, I could do a whole thing about Kaizo Mario, but that's for another day. Star, as in the adorable thing with the eyes that's yellow that you grab and then it suddenly makes you powerful and invincible in the Mario series, and Spirit, because Star Spirit is what the things are in Paper Mario, and it's great, and I love Paper Mario. It's my favorite video game series. Ain't even gonna front here. Don't even matter. Yoshi Star Spirit, YouTube. I tried to change it to Count Jack Noir. What the fuck?
And everyone else out there, you can also get some fantastic artwork from Jack on Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com/Jack D. Tyler D for $5. $5 no holla.
$5. And
$5 no holla.
Tonight.
Your artwork will be sent to you, courtesy of this one here, Jack D. Tyler D, whom you also can see occasionally on the Tumblr, despite my best efforts, at Mechanical Symphonies.
Yes.
Jack, get off Tumblr. It's not good for you.
Well, because now there's
it's
kind
not
of
good for you.
There's kind of a community for Pen Zero, and nobody ships anybody, and it's so good because nobody ever doesn't ship anybody. That's a triple negative. It doesn't matter. Somebody looked at the show and didn't go, "Let me have my slash crack." No, they looked at it and said, "Hey, it's just a really good show. Can we please go back to that, please?"
That's why I don't go on Tumblr.
In the meantime,
And that's
well,
why
that's what
you
ruined
don't
Invader
go
Zim
on
for me.
Tumblr, Jack.
That's what ruined
why you
Invader Zim
don't
for
go on
me.
Tumblr.
because everybody drew that stupid emo boy Dib with this stupid alien dude, and it would have been an entertaining show for me because I was watching it yesterday and it was kind of interesting, and then the dog had to talk, and I hate Invader Zim. I hate it. Art style looks good, but I have to put it on mute, and I can't wait until I can find the episode where Gurr dies, because I want him to die.
And if you want to share a conversation with Jack on Twitter about your thoughts on Invader Zim, you can do that on Twitter at Jack D Tyler D. Same as the Fiverr, Jack D Tyler D. And Jack, I just want you to know you have been great this evening. I hope this was as good for me as it. I hope this was as good for you as it was for me, Jake. Well,
it was a little painful. It was a little painful at first, and I felt like screaming a couple times, but I thought that would ruin the mood, so I wanted to stop. But if you go on,
I just want you to know that, Jack, this was the best you've been since we've started.
Yeah.
Good. If you go on Jack D. Tyler D, actually, I'll be having a link pretty soon for. I know that this will be really good for Packer Girl 89, but Tim Burton's One Piece will become a reality tonight. So
oh, Lord.
You can find that later on. And all of you, of course, are welcome to join, and I might actually be having a stream, so I'll be linking that in Twitter very shortly, so you guys are more than welcome to join.
Yes.
That's all I have to say. I have to kind of go to sleep now.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the A3K podcast. We are available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and wherever podcasts can be aggravated. Just look for A3K Network or anime3000.com. The Facebook, the Twitters, the Twitter, the Orchid, the Google Wave, the Friendster, the VK for you Europeans. We're on the VK, I think. Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah. Also, last but not least, the A3K Network does in fact have a Patreon managed by our general manager and executive producer, Sean Russell, at patreon.com/anime3000. We greatly appreciate your support. My name is David Majors. I'm tired of talking. For Josh Dunham, PD Rave, and Jack D, thank you all for watching and listening, and we will talk to you on the intertubes next time. Cheers.
Annyeong.
Don't drink and drive, kids.
Fighting!
Let's fighting love! Let's stop the audio. And, alright, that is a show. That was a show. Guys, that was fantastic.
Thank you so much for coming on, Josh and Petey. That was amazing.
That was
Thank you for having
fantastic.
me.
Yes, thank you.
Yay.
Josh, Pedro, you guys are more than welcome anytime, by all means.
Anytime. Beg us. Please, beg.
Yes.
Petey,
That sounded
I'm starting to feel like Petey, I'm doing way too many podcasts. Because I just released 2 NBG. I'm doing A3K. We're doing It's in Season tomorrow, and then we're probably doing another 2 Nerdy Black Guys after that. I'm feeling like maybe I should start a Patreon. Because I'm doing too many damn shows.
Oh, yeah.
All right. It's time for me to head back to Go-Daiko-Con and get drunk with some friends.
Yes.
Enjoy.
Yeah, your eyes are already bloodshot.
They are. All right.
Con
Guys,
time, have
thank
fun.
you so much.
It's all about that bass. All about propane.
And Jack, no hyperbole, you were absolutely terrific.
I'm really glad because, I felt like that wasn't happening often enough for the podcast, so I'm more than welcome.
On your A game.
I'm more than welcome to break out the pinnacle and go, okay, you know what? It's time to just do this. And this glass was like up to the eyes. Now it's down there, so that's quite a bit.
I would say for the future, slow down just a tad.
Probably. I do have to do
Good night, guys. I'm out.
Good night, David.
So he's going to stop broadcasting.